Hey folks, welcome back. Let's cut straight to the chase. You've poured your heart out, haven't you? You've given everything, your time, your energy, your loyalty, just to make them see your worth. You've been there, always showing up, bending over backward, hoping they'd finally notice. And what did they do? They brushed you off, treated you like an option, like you're nothing more than a shadow they can step over whenever it suits them. Enough. You've tried words, you've tried pleading, and where has it gotten you? Nowhere but deeper into doubt, wondering why you're not enough. But here's the hard truth. They don't deserve another syllable from you. Right now, you've gone silent, and that silence, it's cutting them deeper than anything you could ever say. Do you really think they're fine without you? Do you believe they can just shrug off the void you've left behind? Today, we're diving into why your silence is hurting them more than you think, peeling back the hidden layers of what they're going through, and showing you how to wield this quiet power like a Stoic master. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength starts now, with your silence. So stick with me, because we're about to uncover 5 powerful steps that reveal how your absence is rewriting their world, whether they admit it or not. Ready to see the truth? Let's get started. Number 1. Why silence hurts more than words. All right, folks, let's kick this off with something you've probably wondered about. Why does your silence hurt them more than anything you could ever say? I mean, think about it. You've spent so long spilling your heart out, explaining, pleading, trying to make them see your worth with words. And where did that get you? Just more echoes bouncing off a wall that never cared to listen. But now you've gone quiet, and suddenly it's a whole different story. See, silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's a force, a heavy weight that presses down on them harder than 1,000 arguments ever could. When you stop talking, you stop feeding their comfort zone. All that energy you used to pour into them, it's gone, and they're left standing in the cold, feeling a void they didn't even know existed until you stepped away. Picture this. Your words were like a warm blanket they wrapped themselves in whenever they needed it. Always there, always reliable. But now that blanket's been yanked away, and they're shivering, exposed, with nothing to cling to. That's why silence stings. It's not loud or dramatic. It's a quiet, creeping ache that sneaks into every corner of their mind. They can't argue with it, can't push it away, can't drown it out. It's just there, relentless, reminding them of what they've lost. And here's the kicker. Words can be ignored, twisted, or forgotten, but silence lingers. It forces them to sit with themselves, to face the emptiness where you used to be. As our Stoic friend Seneca once said, silence is a source of great strength. Your silence isn't weakness, it's power, cutting deeper because it's the one thing they can't fight back against. Now here's what I want you to do. Next time you're tempted to break that silence, to send that text or make that call, stop. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, your quiet is doing the work words never could. Don't give them the relief of hearing your voice. Let them wrestle with the weight of your absence instead. That's where the real shift happens. So if you're with me on this, drop this in the comments right now. My silence is my strength. Say it out loud, write it down, own it. Because this is just the start. Stick with me, folks, because we're about to dive into the hidden stages they're going through. And trust me, it only gets deeper from here. Number 2, the hidden stages they go through. All right, folks, let's shift gears a bit and pull back the curtain on what's really happening on their side of this silence. You've gone quiet, and you might be wondering, what's going through their head right now? Are they even noticing, or are they just shrugging it off like it's no big deal? Trust me, they're not as unbothered as they'd like you to think. Your silence isn't just a blank space. It's kicking off a whole roller coaster of hidden stages they're stumbling through, whether they show it or not. And here's the thing. They don't even realize how much it's rattling them until it's too late. So let's break this down together, stage by stage, and see what's brewing beneath that calm front they're trying to put up. First up, there's the shock. They don't hear from you, and it's like the ground just shifted under their feet. They're used to you being there, filling the air with your voice, your care, your energy. Now, Nothing. It's jarring, like walking into a room expecting music but finding dead quiet instead. Then comes the denial. They slap on a mask, acting like they're fine, posting happy pics online, laughing with friends. But that's just noise to drown out the unease creeping in. Next, regret starts knocking. They replay every moment they brushed you off, every time they took you for granted, and it's like a slow burn they can't put out. And finally, there's the void, that hollow space where you used to be, growing bigger, heavier, until they can't ignore it anymore. These aren't loud breakdowns you'll see on the surface. They're quiet battles raging inside, and your silence is the spark lighting it all up. Now, imagine them as a sailor who's always had a compass, you pointing the way. Suddenly that compass is gone, and they're drifting, lost at sea, no idea which way is north. That's what your silence does. It strips away their bearings, leaving them to wrestle with these stages on their own. Marcus Aurelius hit the nail on the head when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your silence forces them to react, to feel every twist and turn of this journey, and they're not ready for it. So, here's my nudge for you. Don't peek over the fence to see how they're doing. Let them ride this out. Keep focusing on you. Go for that walk, read that book, build something for yourself. Their stages are their story, not yours to fix. Feeling this with me so far? Good, then let's lock it in. Drop this in the comments. I let them feel the stages. Say it out loud if you're alone. Let it sink in. This isn't about waiting for them to crack. It's about knowing your silence is working its magic, stirring up more than they'll ever admit. We're just getting warmed up, folks, so stick around. Next, we'll unpack how that quiet of yours is rewiring their mind in ways you'd never expect. Ready for more? Let's keep rolling. Number 3. How your silence is reprogramming their mind. Hey there, folks. Let's sit down for a minute and talk about something wild. What's happening inside their head now that you've gone silent? You might be thinking, okay, they're feeling it, but is my silence really changing anything? Oh, it's doing way more than you realize. It's like you've slipped into their mind and started flipping switches they didn't even know they had. See, when you were always there, chatting, reaching out, filling the space, their brain had you pegged as predictable, like a song they could play on repeat without a second thought. But now, that song stopped, and your silence is rewriting the whole playlist in their head. It's not just about them missing you. It's about how this quiet is reshaping the way they think, whether they're ready for it or not. So picture their mind as an old radio, buzzing with static because the signal, you, has dropped out. At first, they try tuning into other stations, distractions, anything to fill the noise. But here's where it gets interesting. Your absence isn't just a blank spot. It's a signal of its own, broadcasting something they can't tune out. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. When something's rare, it becomes valuable, and your silence is making you the rarest thing in their world right now. They're starting to question everything. Why aren't they here? Did I push them too far? What's different now? That's their brain scrambling to rewire itself, to figure out why the comfort of your presence isn't there anymore. And the longer you stay silent, the deeper it digs, turning casual thoughts into nagging doubts, then into a craving they can't shake. But let's lean on some Stoic wisdom for a second. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your silence isn't just happening to them. It's forcing a reaction, reprogramming how they see you. Where they once took you for granted, now they're painting a new picture. Someone strong, someone worth chasing, someone they didn't appreciate until the signal went dead. So what can you do to keep this going? Simple, stay steady. Don't flick the switch back on just because you're curious how they're holding up. Let your silence keep sending that signal, loud and clear, without a single word. Keep building your own world. Chase that hobby, call a friend, let your life hum along. That's the fuel that keeps their minds spinning. You with me on this? Awesome, let's make it stick. Drop this in the comments. My silence rewrites their world. Say it like you mean it, feel it in your bones. This isn't just about them, it's about you owning the power of your quiet strength. We're not done yet, folks, so hang tight. Next up, we're digging into how to keep that silence rock solid and unbreakable. You ready to take it up a notch? Let's roll. Number 4. How to keep your silence powerful. Hey folks, let's take a beat and get practical. Your silence is doing some heavy lifting right now, but how do you keep it strong, unshakable, like a fortress they can't breach? It's one thing to go quiet, but it's another to make sure that quiet stays a force, not just a fleeting pause they can shrug off. I know what you're thinking. It's tough. I feel the itch to reach out, to see if they're okay, to break the tension. And that's real, but here's where we lock it down and turn your silence into something they can't ignore. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about holding your ground with a power that echoes louder the longer you stand firm. So, let's unpack a few ways to keep that silence humming with strength, step by step, right here in our little chat. First off, it's all about discipline. Think of your silence like a muscle you're training. Every time you resist that urge to text or call, you're flexing it, making it tougher, more solid. Start small. When that pang hits, don't grab your phone, grab a pen instead. Jot down why you're staying silent. Remind yourself you're worth more than chasing shadows. Next, fill your space with purpose. Don't just sit there staring at the wall, waiting for them to notice. Dive into something that lights you up, whether it's fixing up your place, hitting the gym, or finally tackling that project you've been putting off. The busier you are building your own castle, the less room there is for doubt to creep in. And here's a big one. Dodge the traps. Those moments when you're tempted to peek at their social media or ask a mutual friend how they're holding up. That's like opening a crack in your fortress wall. Keep it sealed tight because every peek pulls you back into their orbit. Now let's borrow some grit from the Stoics. Seneca said, "He who does not wish to be overly happy will not be unhappy." What's that mean for you? It's about staying even-keeled, not letting their reaction or lack of it sway your peace. Your silence isn't powerful because they're freaking out. It's powerful because you're choosing it day after day, no matter what they do. So here's your move. Set a tiny daily anchor. Maybe it's a 5-minute breather where you sit with your thoughts, or a quick walk to clear your head. Something that keeps you rooted in your own strength. That's how you hold the line, folks, by making silence your ally, not just a test of willpower. You feeling the vibe here? Let's seal it tight. Drop this in the comments. My silence stands tall. Say it with me, let it roll off your tongue. Feel that power settle in. This isn't about waiting for them to crack. It's about you building a quiet so strong they can't help but feel its weight. We're almost at the finish line, so stick close. Next, we'll dig into when they might finally break under that pressure. Ready to see how this plays out? Let's keep it rolling. Number 5. When will they break? All right, folks, we've made it to the big question. You've held your silence like a champ, and now you're probably wondering, when's it gonna happen? When will they finally crack under all this quiet? I get it, you're not sitting here twiddling your thumbs just for fun. You want to know when that wall they've built up starts crumbling, when they can't take it anymore. Well, let's pull up a chair and unpack this together. Because it's not a simple stopwatch ticking down. It's a messy, human unraveling, and it's different for everyone. But one thing's for sure, your silence is pushing them toward that edge, and we're about to figure out what tips them over. Here's how it plays out. Think of them like a dam holding back a river. At first, they're sturdy, pretending your absence is just a trickle they can ignore. Days pass, maybe weeks, and that trickle turns into a steady flow. Those hidden stages we talked about, the regret, the void, they're piling up behind that wall. For some, it's fast. Maybe they're the type who can't stand the quiet, and a week of your silence has them fidgeting, second-guessing, reaching for their phone. For others, it's slower. They've got pride propping up that dam, and it might take a month or more before the cracks show. But here's the truth. Everyone has a breaking point. It's not about if, it's about when. That moment comes when the pressure of losing you outweighs their stubbornness, when the silence gets so loud they can't sleep through it anymore. Could be a random Tuesday when they see something that reminds them of you, or a lonely night when their distractions run dry. Boom. That's when the dam bursts. Now let's lean into some Stoic gold. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your silence isn't about spite. It's about being better, stronger, unshaken. They might break tomorrow, or it might take longer, but that's not your clock to watch. What matters is you're not the one breaking. You're the one standing tall while they wrestle with what they've lost. So don't sit there counting days or staring at your phone for a sign. Keep moving, chase your goals, laugh with your people, let your life shine so bright they can't miss it. That's the secret sauce. The less you fixate on their breaking point, the sooner it'll sneak up on them. You feeling this, folks? Awesome. Let's lock it in one last time. Drop this in the comments. I'm unbreakable. They're not. Say it loud, let it echo in your chest, because this is where it all comes together. Your silence has carried you through this journey, hurting them more than words ever could, rewiring their mind and proving your strength. Whether they break or not, you've already won by choosing yourself. So, as we wrap up here, take that power with you. Hit that like button if this sparked something in you, and stick around for the wrap-up. We're about to seal this with a bang, so don't go anywhere. You've earned this moment. So folks, there you have it. We've walked this road together, and what a journey it's been. Your silence isn't just a pause. It's a power move that's hurting them more than you ever thought possible. From cutting deeper than words, to stirring up those hidden stages, to rewiring their mind and holding it strong until they break. You've seen how this quiet strength flips the script. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, standing tall, reclaiming every ounce of worth they tried to take for granted. You're not the one waiting in the shadows now. You're the one shining, unbreakable, and free. And that's the Stoic magic we've unlocked here. You've turned their rejection into your revolution. But here's the real win. You're not just stronger for it, you're part of something bigger. Every step you've taken, every moment you've chosen yourself, it's building a life they'll wish they hadn't walked away from. So, let's keep this fire going. Hit that like button if this journey lit something up in you, because that simple tap helps us reach more folks who need to hear this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join this community of unbreakable spirits, where we lift each other up and keep pushing forward. And before you roll out, drop a quick "I'm unbreakable" in the comments. Let's flood this space with that energy. Show the world we're done settling, done chasing. Share your story if you've got one. How's this silence working for you? We're here, listening, growing together. Thanks for sticking with me, folks. You're the heartbeat of this channel, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Until then, keep that silence strong, keep shining, and never forget, you're the prize they didn't see coming. See you soon. Stay powerful.